In sports car terms, few cars are as classic and as enduring as the Lotus 7. Originally penned by Colin Chapman as a car linking modest power and low weight to high performance, its legacy lives on in numerous iterations built in the modern age, although the car really hasn't changed that much. And one of those interpretations, and probably one of the better ones, is built right here in South Africa. The Birkin reproduction of the original 7 is built in Prospecton near Durban and exported to several markets around the globe. Originally designed and engineered by founder John Watson, it's now offered with a variety of engine and gearbox combinations. The Birkin offers petrolheads a thrilling and cost-effective alternative to fancier and much more expensive machinery. It's meant as a second or even a third car, as at home on a breakfast run as it is at a track day. And because it's low and light, even moderate speeds feel a lot quicker. Not much has changed since Chapman designed the original 7, but this is the wide-body Birkin XS, which is meant for taller, stouter drivers. The proportions, however, are still very much the same: the very tapered front end, the narrow fuselage, and the muscular rear haunches. The result is a thoroughbred sports car shape with a timeless appeal that marries classic aesthetics to minimalist functionality. Yes, there is a canvas hood for weather protection, but it looks more like a small makeshift tent and is not only ugly and awkward to assemble, but not that effective in a downpour either. So the Birkin is really an open roadster, offering a level of visceral engagement that few, if any, exotics can equal, and the interior is very much part of that formula. The cockpit is a back-to-basics affair that suits the minimalist character of the Birkin. The steering wheel almost too close, these very snug bucket seats keeping you in place almost regardless of speed and attitude. The XS version, even though it does look very snug, is actually wider than the standard version. You feel that especially with the footwell, where you actually can use your feet to drive the pedals, but it's certainly not a big car. The XS version is 75mm longer and 100mm wider than the standard model, and those extra millimeters really make a big difference. You don't need to be a midget to get in and out without making a chiropractor appointment. Pedal spacing remains a problem though. The accelerator is too high relative to the brake pedal, making heel and towing awkward. The 7 has been offered with a variety of engines over the years, ranging from modest to outrageous. This particular example is powered by a Ford Duratec engine with fuel injection, producing 138 kilowatts of maximum power and 220 newton meters of torque. Now that doesn't really sound like a lot of power until you realize that the entire car weighs only 595 kilograms. As a result, the two-seater boasts an eye-watering power-to-weight ratio of 232 kilowatt per ton. By comparison, a Porsche 911 GTS comes in at just 215 kilowatt a ton. Add a snappy short-throw 5-speed gearbox, a chassis that accurately translates every bump and dip, and the kind of steering feel that modern cars simply cannot match, and the result is utterly intoxicating. The great thing about driving a Birkin is that you don't have to go that quickly to have fun. In fact, even at these sort of speeds between 80 and 100 kilometers an hour, it does feel very fast and very furious. Of course, you're sitting very low to the ground, the car reacting to your every input, and it is an experience that can only be described as visceral. Birkin claims 4.6 seconds for the 0-100 dash and a 225 km/h top speed, but you'll need a helmet to cope with the buffeting when pressing on. So don't expect comfort and convenience to be part of the package. The bark of the exhaust is ear-splittingly loud, and the slipstream threatens to tear your face from your head. There's a purity of purpose and engineering excellence to the 7 that will make any petrolhead's heart beat a lot faster. By modern standards, it's undiluted and unrefined, but I have to say, in terms of sheer driving, there's not a lot that will beat this car. Somebody once described it as a motorcycle on 4 wheels, and I think that's just about the right description. Sports cars don't get more authentic nor more engaging than this. A hugely responsive drivetrain, low weight and a lively chassis make for an intoxicating driving experience. But don't expect any mod cons nor much in the way of practicality. A car for dedicated petrolheads and driving enthusiasts only.